happens at election time. But if the people believe, for instance, that the president has not done what he was elected to do, clause 1 can always be triggered by the people. And they do not have to go to their delegate, the person they have delegated power to, for permission to get back their power. That's like saying, if you have an employee and you have given the employee the terms and conditions of employment, there is a letter of employment. They are not supposed to be insubordinative to you. They are not supposed to steal from you. They are supposed to be answerable to you when they have done something and you want to call them to account. If they disobey your orders, you can fire them. And you don't need permission from them to fire them. So what I'm saying, the Constitution is our employment letter. We gave the president or RUTO a job to do. And for 2 years, he has done no job for us. He has been mangering all over the world, going to Washington. In fact, RUTO has been traveling every single week. He has spent billions of our money. He is our employee. We are the employer. He has spent billions without permission from us. He purported to have hired a jet to Washington without our authority. There is no constitutional power he had to unilaterally take our money and hire a jet. We have Kenya Airways. That is the mode of transportation for anybody who is working for us, because Kenya Airways partly belong to us. So what I'm saying is that RUTO has abrogated every constitutional provision and every term of employment, and he stands dismissed.
Would it, a quick one, sorry, Kinsman and Hillary, would it then...
No, but I think going back and forth is not useful. Once I've answered your question, I think...
You have answered it, but I was going to ask as a follow-up of that, would it then be a wise choice for us to put together an indictment that lists everything that you did, so that we're not just talking about it in rooms, but we actually have a document that is saying this is why we are calling you out?
When RUTO was disobeying us, he did not come with a list. And when he was disobeying us, he already knew the terms of engagement. He knew that we did not need permission from him. We don't need a list to indict RUTO. RUTO stands indicted by his very acts. Yesterday, he sealed his fate by not even feeling sorry for families he has bereaved, for people he has caused pain to, for citizens that he has harmed and killed. And as far as I'm concerned, and many Kenyans have said this, RUTO is out of touch. RUTO is a cold-blooded murderer, and such people should be punished and not rewarded. Any day RUTO spends in State House is a day too much.
Thank you so much, Daktari. Man, people are keeping dropping. I don't know what the problem. Check your network. It is now 8:30 here, but check your network and everything. Kingsman, can you hear me? Because I realized that you can't hear other people.
Yes, I can hear you.
Guys, let us check your network well. We're trying to keep it so that it can work.
I think the NIS and the Communication Authority and Safaricom and the rest, they are doing their thing. But let's focus on what we are doing.
Yeah, let us focus on what you're doing, guys. Yeah. You drop, you come back. I don't know what's happened, but it's okay. This is you hand us up sometimes. Then I change on that order. Let
me go after Achieng, please, Hillary.
Okay, Achieng, go.
Hillary. Just kidogo too, maybe to compliment on whatever Daktari has said to Kumbukeni. I think the beauty about whatever we are going through at the moment is a feeling that is being experienced by each and every Kenyan. It is a feeling that supersedes and then it goes beyond tribal connotations. So that is even why they are having a problem on how they are going to approach this, because now the person they used to vilify all the time is Raila. Raila is not on the scene. It used to be a tribal thing, so the tribes are not here. This is a feeling of whereby Punda imechoka. Punda imechoka since 1964, but today Punda iko like, I don't give an F whether I'm a Maasai, a Kikuyu, a Kalenjin. I've realized the country against bad governance. He has been able to unite us against tribal affiliation. So, and he has also been able to unite us against him and his KK regime and his Akina this guy, Akina Sudi, splashing out money, opulence and all that. So already, as Daktari has said, the scorecard is out there. This guy, from the day he got into office, he never even looked at his JD. The interview that he did with the Kenyan people, he has never, ever from day one even ticked JD number one. His KPIs are uko chini. If you were to rate him between 0 and 10, ako uko -3. So there is, you see, and then there is, unajua kuna ule mtu unaambiwa utetee, unasema hata mimi si. This guy is at a position where it is so difficult for him to come and convince the Kenyan people that there is anything else he can do. Especially the fact that he was not remorseful yesterday. I think that was the nail on the coffin.
All right, Kingsman, thank you so much. Check your network always. People keep dropping, getting a lot of messages. I don't know why, but check your network. And we have said that NIS and also the Safaricom is doing their things, but we are trying our best to make sure that the space run and very active. And let us be focused. 10 million people strong on the street in the morning. That's what we're saying. It is now 8:30, and that's where we are focused on. To see our people on the ground, to see we on going on the ground in the morning, and that's the way to go. Achieng, go ahead, then Risasi, then Maju say hi.
Good evening, guys, and thank you, Hillary, Dr. Miguna, for this platform. My senior, Achieng, and Council, and Kingsman ameongea nikasikia ni kama tayari I'm already getting angry again after the interview that RUTO put out yesterday, but we're going to be focused, 10 million strong. I'm just here to reiterate what Senior Counsel Dr. Miguna said when he says that we are beyond the point of talking to the government, and when he says that what we are doing is constitutionally right, I think let me just shed some background on maybe where he's coming from. So legally speaking, when a legal document is drafted, you have to look at the spirit behind that document. You know that law is an evolving creature, so you need to look at the spirit behind that document. And when the Constitution was being drafted, Article 1 actually just says the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. Guys, I need us to understand that we elected these people democratically to air our voices and concern. But at the same thing that I'm saying, the spirit of the document, if you look at the finance bill, the spirit behind it was not the one to tetea for the common mwananchi. This was the spirit behind it was the one for the IMF, the people who have their interests, and the tumbocrats themselves. So when the Constitution was being drafted, they know this power is ours. They know the wananchi the supreme. They know that we are the ones who elect people into power. So do not fear. Do not fear. The Constitution envisages all these scenarios. We are not out of order. We are still within the rule of law. And if at all anything, we are using the utmost Article 1. There's a reason why it's Article 1 of our Constitution, because it's supreme. So let's not fear. 10 million strong tomorrow. Let's just come out and defend each other. We fight for our rights. That's all I have to say for today.
Thank you so much, Etienne. God bless you. Thank you so much. Yep. Mobilize people. Tell them we're alive at the moment with Generali Mwenyewe at the moment. We are sharing the hashtag RUTO must go, make 10 million strong and secure our future and our country. Risasi, go ahead.
Thank you, Hillary. I think let me start by just reiterating what Dr. said yesterday. One of the things that came up was we are not going to get any kind of justice without removing RUTO in power. If RUTO is still in power, you will never get justice. And he gave so many examples yesterday. 2, protest works. So in that spirit, we should get out there and remove this guy. We didn't stop him from posting on the financial bill by going to the court or even through constitution. We did that by going to the streets, and evidence is there. If we are not sure of who we are dealing with, Ruto is a textbook definition of a dictator. And how do dictators operate? One of the fundamental characteristics of dictators is their decision-making process. Dictators make decisions through a very tiny cabal of advisors. You have a good example, Ndi and the likes. They make decisions through cronies. People are not even qualified. The likes of Farouk Kibet, somebody who doesn't have got even a job description. I think the best qualification Farouk is I don't know. I cannot even imagine, except being a friend to Ruto. And they do this through the aid of their parrots, the likes of Itumbi. Sycophants, the likes of Jakakimba, whose their role is to wake up in the morning, type what the president said, working for president on Twitter. That is what they do. Secondly, look at how he's trying to consolidate support. He has done this through churches previously, and I think people have realized that. So he has nowhere to run to churches. That is why when he hears people occupying churches, he gets agitated. He's doing this through trade unions. Look at the likes of Atuoli. Those are the people who are supporting him. He's doing this through hijacking political parties. Recently, he has already hijacked ANC to consolidate support in parliament. He's doing this through state machinery. Recently, there was proposals to increase salary for police, and these are just aimed to consolidate his base. So, guys, we are dealing with a despot here. It's just a matter of time before we have somebody like Mugabe in the making. Other thing that is very, very much determined is control of key institutions. These are the army, the police, the civil service, state media, parliament. For now, he has control of parliament. There's nothing else you can do in parliament. Judiciary, the less we speak about it, the better. You know what happened, including swearing of judges is being done in State House, and this is the third arm of government. He's doing this through licenses, censorships. Recently, I saw KTN complaining that they were about to shut off their frequencies. This is a classic dictator we are dealing with here, guys. There's no difference between Ruto and Gaddafi or Ruto and Saddam Hussein. It's just like that Saddam Hussein who wears a counter suit. But otherwise, huyu ni Saddam. Hakuna tofauti. He's doing this through abductions. How many people were abducted in the course of last week? Arrest, dismissals, and now people are dying. There are murders. There are murders, disappearances happening all over. So if we remain with this guy in power, trust me, itakuwa worse than even before we went for this demonstration. So with that, please, let's not lose focus. The guy has to go, and the easiest way, suspend your constitution. Laws are made for men, not men made for laws. Kama ni mbaya, we can suspend the constitution. It doesn't have to be every time that sijui tutamtoa na katiba. Ruto si mtu wa kutoa na katiba. Nyinyi mlimuona jana na kama mtu wa kutolewa na katiba. He's not going anywhere. So if we don't remove him, then he will be stuck with us. Hiyo ndio contribution yangu, Hilary. Thanks.
Ubarikiwe sana Risasi. Asante sana. That's the spirit that we're going with. Thank you so much, guys. Keep networking together as usual. And we said that look at your right, your left, and we want to make this conversation go on. And now we want to know also the your security. And Dr. said something yesterday that if you don't have spirit of revolution, don't go outside. If you fear death, then sleep. And when you don't fear, when you know that you are fighting for your country and you're going there, then you have to be very, very vigilant all the time. Levi, close your mic. Levi, hatufanyi kazi hapo. Levi, hatufanyi kazi hapa hivyo. Funga hiyo mic yako. Asante. Mike, Marge, can you say hi? How are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you, Marge.
Thank you, and thanks everyone. To those who are going to demonstrate tomorrow, I kindly ensure you demonstrate peacefully, so that it is a peaceful demonstration. Of course, we know that things can turn out differently, but be on the record to to be the one demonstrating peacefully. And I received a lot of information, inboxes of people who were asking me that they wanted to speak and they were from the ground. I'm here now. Keep those requests. I'm going to add you, and so that at least also your voice is heard. I really received many inbox messages. I just want to say that I'll be here just queuing in and ensuring that as many people as possible, especially from the ground, also get to speak. And welcome again, and thanks, Dr. for coming on board again. Back to you, Hillary.
Thank you so much. Brief. Go ahead.
No, Hillary, maybe before brief, guys, I've posted the article 1 of our constitution as Dr. was taking us through it. So if you see it on the message side, please retweet, like it, so that it can reach out to as many people as possible. We need to get informed. We need this is the new kind of maandamano, and it feels good. You can even go tomorrow to the maandamano with your suit, umedunga, uko msafi, umepiga marashi, unanukia. Anti hata ule mwenye amebeba fimbo anashangaa sasa nimpige tear gas ama tu ni mheshimu. Yani the most beautiful demonstration ever in the whole world. Ruto is about to find out. Yani atakuwa hata askari watawaambia hapana, hao si wa kupigwa, weenda tu kanyaga kubwa. So tomorrow we are peaceful, tunajibamba. Kama uko na speaker, beba, tokea kwa street, enjoy your music, enjoy your drink, kunywa maji. He must go, man. Lazima aende tu. Yani lazima tu. I don't know if you're feeling the energy that this guy has to go. And we are so informed. Hakuna fala hapa. Some of us are not even interested with holding any public office for the rest of our lives. We just want a better Kenya. We do not want a country of chieftains. It's like that person who always wants to call you out for a drink and then he and buy. He's buying every time. But when you ask him, bro, what do you do for a living? He doesn't tell you. So that is the kind of president that we have. Anataka tu kutubaia. Hapana, tunataka kila Mkenya aweze kujibaia drink. Wale wenye wakunywi wajibaie chai. Wenye maandamano is peaceful. We are not touching his brick and mortars. Hizo ajieke, apeleke Sugoi, wakakae huko na familia yake. Juu hakuna kitu inawafurahisha kama kuon buildings, kuon mavitu. Unajua mavitu tu. I think that is their goal in life. So achia Sakaja na dimple zake, mtu asiguze City Hall. Don't touch anything. Just be on the streets. Let's be there. All of us, as Daktari has said, 10 million strong.
Daktari, go ahead. I can see your mic.
Yes. Thank you very much. I wanted to say my intelligence actually tells me that City Hall was not banned by protesters. It was banned by Sakaja himself, so that Ruto could use it as the excuse to give that protesters banned it. And many places that banned, it is the tear gas that exploded, just like it burned the police officer's hands, the one who lost both hands, the same way that it would ban anything that is flammable. So we cannot take blame for what they have done. We must not take responsibility for Ruto's thuggery. I am sure that today they are planning how they are going to unleash goons that will inflict harm on protesters. But one thing you must know about Ruto, because I know him personally, Ruto wants to be loved. Okay? In as much as he's cold-blooded and everything, he actually wants to be loved, to be liked, to be worshipped, to be praised. And he particularly likes that from foreigners, the foreign media, Washington, London, all these capitals of the West, because he suffers from low self-esteem. That's what happens with a lot of tyrants who suffer from low self-esteem. But he's a weak man. He's weak politically. He's weak mentally. You saw that he's weak psychologically also. He's not that intelligent, because dictators who are intelligent would have answered questions properly yesterday. Would even have pretended. Because Ruto couldn't even pretend. He is worse than when Uhuru appeared during the BBI and everybody else had rejected it, or in 2017 and people had voted against them, and the Supreme Court ruled against their electoral theft. They threatened the Supreme Court, they threw tantrums, they threatened the people. They were completely without any control. That's brutal. So the more we press, the more he has nothing left out of his arsenals. He has already used brute force. He's been abducting people. He's been killing people. He tried to seek sympathy, but people have told him, we are not listening because you are completely disconnected to what is happening. So tomorrow, he will not be able to do anything. I can assure you, he has run out of anything else that he can do. So the more we push him against the wall, the more we guarantee that he will leave. Finally, our security and safety is in our numbers. Let no one lie to you that your security and safety is staying home. The people who stayed home in Githurai the other day, or in Rongai the other day, some of them were, but they came for you and killed you on the street. The same thing happened in the homes. So the point is this: you are not safe staying at home. You are not safe saying that you are going to watch this thing from bars. We are safe when we are many on the street. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daktari. And so, Sakaja, I know you're listening. The allegations weigh very heavy. So, because this is what is going to also make other demonstrators get killed. And afterwards, when we're asking for explanation, because I heard the word accountability being used. I don't know how people thought out, the idea or the fantasy of accounting for somebody who's died. They've died, they're not coming back again. But that needs clarification, Governor Sakadia, if you're listening, because that should not be the case. I think Brief Scoop was next. Over to you, Brief Scoop.
Asante much, and just want to reiterate, yes, Constitution is a document, and while, yes, this process is within the Constitution, to research his point, and to, I believe it was Achieng earlier, these documents are meant to serve us. What comes after this, because I do believe that this is a foregone conclusion that Kenyans are coming out. We'll keep this up. We have to keep this up because actually at this point we have no choice. And to that point, does this constitution serve us sufficiently? There are components that do, but does it do so sufficiently? If you want to already answer, so I'll use them.
So Brief Scoop, let me answer you quickly. I want you to go to my Twitter handle and read the document of yesterday. Please read it completely up to the end. And then digest it. Because your answer is there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daktari. Check what Daktari is posting and check all the things he's trying to answer some other things on our Twitter handle. So you can get more answers on the same.
I actually posted it more than 3 hours ago.
All right. Nidi Joe, I see your hand, then Joe Karani, then Mwangi, then Levi. That way.
Yes, thank you for the platform. And asante sana Prof kwa kuwa available to give us guidance. Mine is to tell all the comrades, heckle, because so far so good. Good work has been done. So I want to say this. So far we've seen these guys trying to do this thing we call divide and rule. And I'd like to urge each and every one of us who's listening here that don't be misguided, don't be intimidated, be fearless. These are good cause, and we are fighting for our country. Again, we should continue pressing the hashtag RUTO must go. And he must go with his regime in its entirety. Again, we must also continue to press on the issue of the IEBC. As we go to the streets tomorrow, let's all come out in large numbers, because I am sure wherever we're headed is the right direction. We need to come out, because we need to show this thing is serious than it was last week. Finally, I'd like to say this. Everything that we're doing is because of our country. So let no one deceive you or intimidate you against standing up for your right. So tomorrow we say it's 10 million strong. Come out in large numbers. Let's do whatever we are supposed to do. But again, we insist on peaceful demonstrations. Let's shun things that may tarnish our name and our image, so that whatever we are fighting for, it's a good cause. And at the end of the day, when we approach it in a peaceful manner, tactically and strategically, we shall be able to conquer. So we are together in this, 10 million strong tomorrow. Let's meet. Thank you.
I think as because there are so many requests, there are so many requests that are coming in. I think we can stick. Remember our main speaker is Daktari, so most of the questions should go towards him, and you also now make a brief comment on how yesterday's presidential roundtable with the media made you feel. What was your feeling after the interview? How did you feel? Were you like empathetic to him? Were you like you can give him a second chance? And then when it comes now to the questions of how we'll tackle this, I think those ones, constitutional questions, can be directed to Daktari. Us will just be giving guidance on how we proceed. So please, when you get your mic, there are so many requests. Don't take a lot of time. At least 5 minutes maximum, guys. So after 5 minutes, we'll be ringing the bell on you.
Actually, Kingsman, we can reduce to even 3. 5 minutes we will not manage like yesterday.
Three. Yeah. I think 3.
Thank you. Back to you, Kingsman.
So I've seen no one.
Levy was to come. Levy, Joe, Mwangi, then Yaradwen. Levy, Joe,
okay.
Mwangi, then Yaradwen. Go ahead, Levy.
Patriots, revolutionists, thank you so much for this platform and giving an opportunity for people to ventilate their ideas and their questions on this issue. I also pass my regards to Dr. Miguna for coming here to give some guidance. I'm an advocate also by profession and a student of different means of protest, and that's what I'm going to address. There are so many other means of protest that we've not included in our fight. We'll have to incorporate everything that is within our means if we are to succeed on the overriding objective of having this government resign or go down. I'll start by the notion of Gen Z. A revolution ordinarily is started by a group of people. So let us denounce the notion that this revolution belongs to Gen Z. I've gone to the street several times, of course, and you'd come back and people would ask you, are you a Gen Z? This is not a Gen Z revolution. This is a revolution that is started by Gen Z. For a revolution to be successful, all parties must come in, all generations must actually join this cause, And I'll actually be very happy the day I'll see a grandfather, a father, a son, or a grandchild all in the streets. I remember that was what was happening in Tahrir Square at the peak of the Arab Spring in Egypt. So let us make an effort to bring everybody on board. Let's bring all classes on board. Let's bring all ages on board. And that's the only way we can succeed in this course. I'll also address the issue of walkouts. There are many professions in this country. Myself, as a lawyer, I had to adjourn my matter that is coming up tomorrow so that I can participate in the protest. I make the formal application today in court that I cannot attend a hearing tomorrow because of protest. For this revolution to succeed, patriots, we need to talk to every professional and pressurize them to start normalizing walking out of their jobs. Doctors at some point will have to walk out of hospitals at a specific time to show their solidarity to the revolution. I keep wondering, why are schools still operating normally? The teachers, there are a big number in Kenya who have a lot of influence in the villages. We have to find a way of incorporating them, let them walk out of the schools. Students were the first victims of RUTO when he actually tear gassed them with the intention of grabbing their land next to Weston. Students will also have to join the protest by walking out of schools and carrying placards in schools. So let us expand the scope of our revolution. Let us expand the scope outside the street to go to offices, to go to schools, to go to hospitals, and actually even to go to courts. Now, what we are doing is essentially in law, I'll call it civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is enshrined in Article 1 of the Constitution, as Daktari and other lawyers have talked about it. And someone has mentioned the Constitution serves humanity. The Constitution is actually a product of democracy. And therefore, the people have a right to go to the streets and exercise democracy directly. Something like nudity. At some point in this long journey to host this government, we'll have to invoke nudity, if possible, as a form of resistance, where on attack by the police, people in mass with a plan will have to strip so that any attack from the police is actually stopped by that specific means of resistance. I'll also address the issue of our revolutionists and comrades who are abroad. You have a role to play. Ensure that you mobilize Kenyans in cities across the world. As the Daktari has noted with a lot of precision, Ruto is a lover of attention. He fears the white man. He wants to be accepted within the company of the likes of Biden. That should not be allowed. In foreign capitals in the world, it has started and it should continue. Let Kenyans stand up and tell the foreign governments that you are dealing with a dangerous person. Do not be lied by this person. It is also a high time that ICC is flooded with petitions from Kenya. That there is a war criminal, there is a person who is committing crimes against humanity on the loose. He has been your client before. He's back on rampage. Ensure that you send petitions to ICC. I'll be sharing that process. It's a very simple process, and everyone, not a lawyer alone, has a right to complain. That is what happened in Gaza, and you can see the results. Finally, the ICC actually is pursuing an indiction against Netanyahu and his accomplices. The same applies in Kenya. What is happening is crimes against humanity. And we have a role to proceed and petition the ICC to do the necessary. Comrades and patriots, what I'm saying in short is that pressure must come from all directions. The enemy is dangerous, the enemy is insidious, the enemy is sly. Let us take pressure from all directions to achieve the overriding objective of this government resigning from power or leaving power by any peaceful, legal way necessary. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wakili. Tumekupatia time mingi kwa sababu you were saying very, very good things there.
Hillary.
Then, yes, Daktari.
Hello?
Yes, Daktari, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hillary?
Yes, Daktari.
I can't hear anybody.
Kingsman.
We can
Raj,
hear you.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I wanted to say something very quickly. I think the contributions are very good, but I would urge us to remain very focused. Our agenda is to bring down the regime. It's not to disrupt civilians. Our agenda is to stop Ruto from his ongoing tyranny. It's not to make life uncomfortable for fellow Kenyans. So let's get that very, very clearly. If we are not targeted, then we can't succeed. So if somebody was to say that we are 10 million people on the street and we are targeting public spaces, say, for example, Arambe House, State House, any space where these vagrants stay or work or purport to work, that is legitimate. But I would be very careful about occupying a hostel that would be there to treat those that they have abused and assaulted and injured. Because we want doctors to continue working so that they can treat the injured so that they can preserve life. So those who are free can join us, but it can't be by force. We can't force anybody to demonstrate. We can't force anybody to protest. People would have to exercise their democratic right to stay away from the protest. That's part of the society that we want to build. There is no society we will create that is based on force. We will be replicating Ruto. We will not be solving any problem. So let's be very clear. We want to solve a problem, and our solution cannot imitate the problem. Our solution has to be better than the problem.